Hi, welcome to the September 2023 LAPPG meeting. It's great to have you here with us. We are so excited to have you join us tonight for Avid Audio Solutions for post-production. We couldn't be happier. Christopher Mallamaci is an Avid Pro Audio Solutions specialist and a sound designer and music mixer based in Los Angeles, California. He has worked on various live productions, including Evita, Rent, West Side Story, A Monkey and Me, Rock of Ages, The Brat Pack, and Tarantino Live. This is making me want to go see theater. This is very, very cool. Christopher loves to blend musical theater and narrative film conventions with traditional studio recording techniques. Yes, Repeat No is Christopher's most recent feature film as supervising sound designer and technical director. So with that being said, welcome, Christopher.
Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Wendy, Woody. It's great to be with the LA Post-Production Group, and I'm very much looking forward to sharing all things Avid with all of the attendees tonight.
Awesome. All right. Well, with that being said, I'm going to let you get to it. And then everybody just please try to remember to put your questions in the Q&A box, and we'll get those at the end of the presentation. And with that, I will let you go. Thanks.
We're just going to go over basically what I'd like to discuss this evening. So we're going to take a look at Media Composer, the brand new Media Composer interoperability with ProTools. We're going to take a look at ProTools Ultimate and how you can use ProTools Ultimate to work with video to create sound for picture. We're going to look at some of the VSTs, the virtual instruments that come with ProTools, including PlayCell, SynthCell, and GrooveCell, and how you can use that to create sound design for media, as well as some elastic audio tools, Melodyne, and we will end our conversation talking about immersive mixing and using ProTools with Dolby Atmos. So without a further ado, let's jump into it. Again, my name is Christopher, and thank you so much to LA Post-Production Group for having me here this evening. So we have a new way to work, and this has been a long time coming. Previously, it was quite an involved effort to get picture into ProTools to make that handoff from a video editor to a sound editor. Well, within the last 6 months, we have introduced this new way where you can actually export a Pro Tools session directly out of Media Composer. So before this, we were reliant on AAFs, but now we're actually able to export directly out of Media Composer, have Media Composer organize all of your media assets, and put them directly inside of a Pro Tools session. What's really fantastic is you can actually specify what Media Composer will take and break down for you to bring over into Pro Tools. And this is a great way to keep all of your assets organized, making sure that you do not miss any video or audio files in the transition from Media Composer to Pro Tools. The way that this works is it creates multiple groups of assets. It creates a master video track, a video cuts track. It gives you a rendered audio folder and an unrendered audio folder. What's fantastic is that if you are working on a shared storage system, you can actually link all of your media to the original media that was used inside of Media Composer. If you are exporting this to share with someone outside of your facility, or you would like to work on a separate computer or machine, you could actually consolidate all of those audio files, copying them over along with the video files to be able to put it on a portable hard drive. Along with this update, we've also introduced new track markers. So all of your markers from Media Composer will carry over into ProTools. So this is a great way for video editors to communicate with sound editors and to have the sound editors actually understand what the video editors were referring to, because all of the markers, including their colors with notes, will carry over into the Pro Tools session. Additionally, you're now able to put markers on tracks. Rather than having a bunch of markers up in the Pro Tools timeline, you can actually put individual markers on each of the tracks to add in notes if you'd like to revisit something, or to designate any specific type of instrumentation. So here's an example of some of the track markers in effect right here. And now we're into Pro Tools. So before we dive into Pro Tools, let's go take a look at Media Composer. So now we are in Media Composer. If you're familiar with Media Composer, you'll see here that you have your timeline, you have your video reference over here, and if I scrub through this, you'll see that we have a complete Media Composer project. So we have our main video track, and we have all of these audio edits. Now, if I am the video editor and I would like to hand this project off to the sound editor to jump to the next step in the post-production process, we have made this extremely easy. What we're going to do is we are going to find this timeline, which is the timeline that you see right here. And we are going to right-click. We can go to Output, Export to File. And now if we go into our options, we can see that we can export this as a Pro Tools session. So yes, in the past, you would have AAF, but now you could actually export this directly as a Pro Tools session. And as you can see, I have an input, an in marker, and an out marker. So I have checked here to use those marks, so it's only going to export everything within those bounds. I have use selected tracks for all the tracks that are selected. I can even include inactive audio tracks. I'm able to specify if I would like to have the video transcoded. I can choose the codec family, compression, raster. If I go over to audio details, I'm able to either copy all media or link it to the original project. So if I'm working on the same system, or if I'm working from shared storage, I can link to the media. If I am moving this project to another machine or putting it on a hard drive to share with another facility, I can copy all of that media directly to a drive or a specific location. So also we have here is the ability to exclude audio from a previous sequence. So if you are making multiple round trips and the picture continues to get updated, you do not have to always copy over all of the media that you already have. So this is a really handy feature that allows you to keep your data organized without having redundant files. So once you make the selections for how you would like to export your media, if you'd like to convert your sample rate of any of the audio files, the bit depth, etc., you can hit save. You can choose where you would like to export it. You hit save and it will spit out a Pro Tools session for you. So once you hit export, it will create a file just like this where you have a Pro Tools session along with all of your Avid media files. And if you double click, you're actually able to open up ProTools with that session. So when you open up this session inside of ProTools, this is what you will find. So on the top track here, you'll see we have 2 video tracks. So we have a mix down video track and we have a cuts track. What is really great is Media Composer takes care of this entire process for you. So your mix down video is the entire video sequence that you are able to play back inside of ProTools. So currently we have ProTools Ultimate open. ProTools Ultimate gives you the ability to have 64 video tracks, but the ProTools video engine will only play 1 video track at a time. So as you can see, we have 2 video tracks here. We have the mix down video track and the cuts track. The cuts track allows you to see where all of the picture cuts were made. If I open up my video window, let's mute all of our audio, and we start to play this back. Before we play this back, I could use the cuts track here, and I can use tab to transient, and I can actually jump to each of the video cuts in ProTools. So I can see where all of the cuts were made inside of Media Composer here in ProTools, thanks to the cuts track that is automatically generated for you when you create a ProTools session from Media Composer. So I can jump around, and now I can play the main video track. Now, before we jump into this video file, I would first like to thank the editorial team over at the Orville for allowing us to use this great material for all of our demos. So big thank you to the editorial team over at the Orville, along with Fuzzy Box, Fuzzy Door Productions. So thank you to Fuzzy Door Productions and the editorial team of the Orville. So let's jump in and play this video clip. I am going to play the clip with the audio from Media Composer. So as you can see below these video tracks, I have a rendered purple folder, an unrendered folder, and a rendered only folder. So what this is the audio assets from Media Composer already organized. So if I open up the rendered audio folder, I will be able to see all of these audio tracks. And these are all of the tracks that were being used inside of Media Composer. Now, if I close this rendered folder, I can look at the unrendered audio. So this is all of the raw audio with no effects. So this is the audio unprocessed. The rendered folder will actually process any of the effects that were applied by the picture editor inside of Media Composer. So that all gets rendered and is a separate file from the raw audio. This is really fantastic because it allows the sound editor to, at the very least, reference exactly what the picture editor was hearing inside of Media Composer. And what's great is that if it was a perfect edit, we can actually use those audio assets here in ProTools for the final mix. This third folder, rendered only, will show you all of the processed clips. So only a few of those audio clips were actually processed with effects. So opening up the rendered only folder allows you to quickly see which of those clips were actually processed. So let's listen to the rendered audio and take a look at this short clip. All right, that was a quick preview from the Orville. And what we're going to look at now is how can we sweeten this scene? What can we do with some of the instruments inside of Pro Tools to create some sound design for this short sequence? So we can jump down here and look at a few different instruments that come with Pro Tools. So the first that we're going to look at is PlayCell. So I can open up this folder here and see that I have a handful of MIDI tracks. So let's take a look at PlayCell. PlayCell is a very simple instrument that is designed to allow any user to quickly get creative without having to dive through many menus or any type of complex file structure. It's a very cool instrument because it comes with a handful of presets that are actually updated every month or so, thanks to the brand new Sonic Drop feature that all subscribers to Pro Tools get access to. So let's play with a couple of instruments here inside of PlayCell. Okay, for reference, we are going to tuck the video view up here in the top left. And let's see what adding some instruments from PlayCell will bring to the sound design of this piece. So there's quite a range of sounds that you can achieve using the PlayCell instrument. So here you can see we have this synth drop, synth pedal, the EBO, the low EBO, which is really giving a lot of atmosphere to this scene. So PlayCell is a quick way where you can use an instrument to be able to get really inspiring sounds without having to deal with any type of complicated plugin interface. It is really as simple as opening up the plugin, finding a preset, perhaps plugging in a MIDI keyboard to be able to actually play this instrument, and using some of these parameters here to change the overall feel of the sound. So let's add some PlayCell drums to this. So not only do you have these synthesizers and strings, but you also actually have some drum samples as well. So in addition to the drum sounds inside of PlayCell, we actually have an instrument called GrooveCell, which is more akin to a traditional drum sampler. So if we open up the GrooveCell tracks and we take a look at that plugin, we could see that we actually have more of a drum pad style interface here. And we have a few different GrooveCell instruments here. So let's see what adding some sounds from GrooveCell brings to this sequence. So as you saw, when the track is actually playing back, you can see that the MIDI notes trigger the actual pads to be played live here. And similar to PlayCell, GrooveCell comes with a handful of plugins that allows, or presets that allows you to quickly use this plugin to be able to create some sounds. What's also very cool about GrooveCell is you could actually use your own samples inside of this platform. Looking at our third instrument, we jump down here to SynthCell. So here in SynthCell, you have multiple oscillators, filters, your filter envelope, and you're able to create very simple or complex synthesis using this plugin. And again, a handful of really great factory presets here for a handful of different types of sounds. So let's see what adding this synth bass brings to this sequence. And so with just a few of Avid's new plugins, PlayCell, GrooveCell, and SynthCell, you're able to quickly create some musical sound design for any type of picture that you bring into Pro Tools Ultimate. And the Media Composer export to Pro Tools makes managing all of those video assets super easy, thanks to the Mixdown video track, the Cuts video track, and automatically organizing all of the audio assets from inside of Media Composer. A few more things that I'd like to look at this evening include the ability to use Elastic Audio within Pro Tools. So let's take a look at some of these sounds and see how we can process them with Elastic Audio. Okay, so here we have some lasers, some laser explosions here. And what I would like to do is try to manipulate this with Elastic Audio to see if we can get a different effect. So what we're going to do is come down here, change this to ticks, and right here we can select some different forms of Elastic Audio. So here are some of the algorithms. We have polyphonic, rhythmic, monophonic, vari-speed, Elastic Pro, X-Form, and Melodyne. Now, X-Form is a rendered-only algorithm. That means that whatever you do to process the audio will have to be rendered before it can be played back. The newest algorithm that we have introduced is Elastic Pro, which has the same fidelity as X-Form, but is actually a real-time process. So let's select Elastic Pro. Okay. And what we're learning here is that we cannot affect an MXF file with Elastic Audio. So if we wanted to process let's commit this track and let's see. Yes, we can now use Elastic Audio on this newly rendered track. Fantastic. So what we can do is we could actually pull up these warp markers . And you can move exactly where the audio will be affected with these markers. Now, this is traditionally very useful for any type of percussive audio sample. This allows you to mark out the transients within the sample. That way you're able to pull or compress the audio based on where the transient information is. So a quick way to process this audio is I could actually process it with this time compression expansion trim tool. So I can expand it. Or compress it. Now, in addition to Elastic Pro, there's also VariSpeed, which acts like a traditional VariSpeed tape machine. There's also monophonic, rhythmic, and polyphonic algorithms, depending on the material that you are trying to process. So using Elastic Audio allows you to get creative within Pro Tools because you're able to expand audio files and compress them. And so you can get very fun results that vary in pitch when trying to create something, especially whether it's laser sounds here in space. So let's play back this session one more time with everything enabled here. So that was a quick look at the Orville. Once again, a big thank you to the editorial team over at the Orville, including Fuzzy Door Productions. Thank you very much for allowing us to use this incredible clip to show a little bit of Media Composer's interoperability with Pro Tools and taking a look at GrooveCell, SynthCell, and PlayCell inside of Pro Tools. So at this time, I would like to open up the floor to any questions, and we can dive right into everything that we've discussed today or any other questions that anyone may have.
Okay, let's start with Paul Schlichting. Hi, Paul. I miss seeing Paul. Paul's one of our amazing volunteers. he's asking, when the video project was passed to Pro Tools, there was a checkbox asking include effects. Assuming that these relate to sound, are these sound effects tracks or effects applied to tracks, reverb, distortion, etc.? And if the latter, are the effects rendered into the audio tracks or send as an indicator as to specific effects along with control tracks? Sorry for the length. Does that make sense?
Yes, no, that is a great question. So yes, that does mean that the effects are processed and rendered onto those audio files. And so inside of Pro Tools, you'll have that rendered audio folder, and that is where all of those processed files will live. But underneath it, you'll have the unrendered folder. That way you can either use the processed clips or simply reference them and use the raw audio to create something new inside of Pro Tools.
Awesome. I think I know the answer to this next one, but it's a good question. This is from Bob. Is the Pro Tools session available for us to download?
So this session is not available to download, but I think in the coming months, we may have something with some picture in it to download and start creating with. So stay tuned for that, and hopefully we'll have some assets that we can share with you very, very shortly.
Awesome. I think Bob was interested in hearing it in like higher quality, because over Zoom it's not quite as.
Of course.
All right, and we have Felice, a longtime member, who is creating the PlayCell effects. Is it done by Pro Tools via exporting from Avid or by the audio editor in their Pro Tools session?
So all of the instrumentation, the PlayCell, GrooveCell, SynthCell, that is created inside of Pro Tools. So you are able to pull up those instruments and actually play those instruments within Pro Tools while referencing the picture. And it is recording your MIDI notes, so you could actually edit anything that you record with the MIDI editor to be able to change and make any variations later down the line.
Thank you. And does the export, this is from Brent, does the export to Pro Tools create independent audio file, or are they only MXF files, or are they only MXF files? And are they the entire audio files or just the visible length of the clips and designated handles?
Very good question. So currently, no, it does not. You do not get handles. It'll render what you have, the section of the audio clip that you have. And the first part of that question is yes, you can designate Media Composer to generate broadcast wave files of your audio assets in Media Composer. So you don't have to rely on the MXF files. You could actually render out broadcast wave files and use that inside of Pro Tools.
Great. Okay, and this next one is from Mike Wax. When exporting from Media Composer as a Pro Tools session file, can you still import the session data into an existing session? And if so, does it still give you the options of importing the rendered and non-rendered folders?
Yes, so what I would do to achieve that type of workflow is export out of Media Composer like we saw tonight, where it's going to generate a brand new session for you. And if you're already working and have a session that you'd like to bring that export into, you can open up your original session, go to Import Session Data, and then you're going to select the session that Media Composer created for you. And then it will give you the option to choose what you want to import. And you can choose either everything that Media Composer exported, or you can only select certain tracks that you would like to bring in to that original session that you started your project in.
Okay, good answers. Okay, this is from Marcelo. Hi, Christopher. Thanks for a great presentation. Is SynthCell MIDI polyphonic expression compatible? And can third-party hardware controllers be used with the cells?
So the answer to the latter part of this question is yes. You can absolutely use any type of MIDI controller, whether it's pads or keys, anything like that. To answer the first part of your question, I believe currently it is not a polyphonic instrument. I may be wrong in this, but I believe currently that is not the case.
Okay, and we won't hold you to it. And Fernanda said, thanks for the class. I just didn't understand the difference between the rendered and rendered only folders.
Oh, certainly. So the rendered only will only give you clips that have been processed. So in our rendered folder, that's going to give you everything that is on the Media Composer timeline as it plays in Media Composer. So the rendered folder is really your Media Composer playback folder. And inside of it would contain any rendered clips. The rendered only folder only has clips that have been processed. So if there was any type of reverb or delay or EQ or compression or distortion applied to a clip, that rendered only folder is going to show you only the clips that have been affected. And really, that's a quick way to give the sound editor some visual feedback on where the processed clips are within the timeline, if they need to be addressed or looked at.
Awesome. Excellent. All right. Well, I think that actually was about it. I'm thrilled that we, let me see, I'm getting one more. I have a question about this new workflow. Oh, is it Ultimate only, and what version?
So the export feature became available in Media Composer 2022.12, and I believe that yes, it is the ultimate license of Media Composer that is going to give you the ability to export to a Pro Tools session. You do not need Pro Tools Ultimate to open the session. You will need Pro Tools Studio or Pro Tools Ultimate. So Pro Tools Studio is a version of Pro Tools that will only allow you to have one video track. So if you would like to see the cuts track and the mixdown video track, yes, you're going to want to use Pro Tools Ultimate to open up that session to be able to see multiple video tracks within Pro Tools.
Got it. Okay. And we actually had one here just slide right in, and this one you have to be on your toes for this one. Okay. This is from Carol. His question is, why should I keep working with Pro Tools when DaVinci Fairlight is free and for the most part user-friendly? What values does Pro Tools have to offer in the future?
Absolutely. That's a great question. Well, first I'd like to talk about the sync capabilities of Pro Tools and Pro Tools Ultimate. So Pro Tools Ultimate has the ability to work with an HDX system. And so that would include an HDX card, 1, 2, 3 HDX cards. That gives you the ability to attach a sync peripheral like a Sync X, and allows you to connect an interface such as the Avid Matrix Studio or Matrix 2. The real important thing to know here is that HDX gives audio editors working in Pro Tools the ability to have frame edge sync. And that is super important when working with video, especially across multiple Pro Tools systems. So if you're working in a on a large project where you have a single Pro Tools system that is maybe handling all of your dialogue, another Pro Tools system handling all of your sound effects, music, etc. The only way to actually sync all of these machines together and obtain a perfect frame edge sync is using the SyncX peripherals with the HDX card. And that allows you to be able to work across multiple machines and be able to record onto a single machine without losing any sync between the audio and the video. So that's one of the main reasons why Pro Tools is a fantastic solution for both picture and sound editors. To answer your question about what may come in the future, what's really exciting is we continue to develop the tools inside of Pro Tools. So simply looking at this export feature from Media Composer to Pro Tools, we introduced new track markers, which gives you the ability to keep your session organized and to be able to notate what's happening inside of your session, track by track. That's a great way to work in a collaborative space because you can leave your fellow editor notes or point them in the right direction on work that is perhaps complete or still needs to be addressed. And so track markers offers a great way to maintain and manage all of that. Additionally, we've introduced these new sound design tools, these new instruments, PlayCell, SynthCell, and GrooveCell. In the future, we hope to bring more of these types of tools to the table. But in the meantime, Sonic Drop is a program that we have for our subscribers, provides new content every month. So within the Sonic Drop downloads, curated by our very own Matt Lang, who was kind enough to design these instruments in this session that we played back today, Matt Lang provides access to Sonic Drop downloads every month, which includes sample packs, loops, and even new presets for all these instruments. So even though there's currently 3 instruments to work with, every month there are new updates to the sounds of those instruments. So there's always something fresh on the table, always something that's quick and easy, basically a mouse click away where you can open it up, start playing, and find some inspiration to create your next project. So there's always something new on the horizon with Avid Pro Tools.
Awesome. Excellent answer there. Thank you so much. And I just want to say thank you. First of all, Christopher, thank you for your time. Thank you for your expertise. You're an excellent presenter. And I want to say thank you also to Avid for everything, for having Christopher here and for the giveaway that we're going to be doing. So make sure tomorrow, everybody, check your emails. And we invite you to catch up on past meetings. I pulled this one out from the archive, Sound for Docs, with our very own co-founder, Wendy Woodhall, who is my partner in crime. And this is a really good chance. I'm assuming many of you are audio people that are here, so you are interested in the sound thing. And Woody goes through each stage of sound, the pre-production, production, and post-production, and he shares best practices in mic selection, location reporting, B-roll audio, sound editing, and sound mixing. So it's a really good chance to learn about sound for documentaries. We also have almost 100 other videos on our YouTube channel. So make sure that when you go over there, you click subscribe and click the bell, and that way you will be notified. There's like a little bell icon, and then you will be notified when our new videos drop. And be sure to connect with us. We're on Facebook and Instagram. And this thing, I don't know if it's Twitter or X. I guess it's X, but I couldn't get rid of the little bird. It was breaking my heart. So I put them both there for now. And LinkedIn, of course. Please use the hashtag LAPPG. And a huge thank you to our partners, as always, our platinum partner, AJA Video Systems, our gold level partners, Adobe Blackmagic Design, OWC, Zeiss, Frame.io, and our silver partners, Isotope, SGO, Media Silo, which I'm going to have to change to EditShare, and Avid, and our supporting media and community partners. It takes a village, and we're so thankful that we have all of these wonderful folks supporting us and that we have you here. And in the meantime, everybody take care and be safe, and we will see you next time. And thanks again, Christopher, for a fabulous presentation.
Yes, thank you all. Thank you so much, Wendy. Thank you, Woody.
Take care. You have a good one.